It's time now to take a look at the weather forecast. Eddie Shear joins me live in the studio tonight. And Eddie, the first half of the weekend, this weekend was just stunning. I think it was like 19 degrees, wasn't it, in the capital?
It was. It was a beautiful Saturday. It was warm. It was not windy. I had some family visiting from the States. We went to the playground at Bannerman Park. And what I found astonishing was, the weather was beautiful, which was great. But there were so many like hornets and wasps around, and I don't recall seeing so many that late in the season, although I guess on a warm kind of October day they do come out, but there were so many wasps, and luckily nobody got stung, at least when I was around, but there was quite a few. If you've had the same experience, let me know. Temperature-wise out there right now, we are looking, I guess, fall-ish. We are in almost the middle of October now. Well, October 7th. 10 degrees in Corner Brook, 12 degrees currently in Stephenville. Badger, you're at 9 degrees. Gander, right now we are 8. St. John's, Greats Cove, Bonavista, all at 9. Cape Race, Argentia, near 11. Same thing for parts of the Burin Peninsula. And the temperatures that we're seeing, the weather that we're seeing kind of derives from the weather pattern that we are in, which right now is largely one featuring onshore northeasterly winds. This is something we've seen time and time again over the last couple of weeks, and this will change, but it's going to take a few more days to do that. But I do think going forward, we will have a little more sunshine over eastern and northeastern Newfoundland tomorrow compared to that of today. Now we take a look at our live NTV Skycam over the city of St. John's right now, and we can see, yes, we are seeing overcast skies, cruise ship there in the harbor, and the salt pile is huge. Looking at 9 degrees at the airport right now once again, but the thing is winds are gusting to 35, so it feels a bit cooler. In Grand Falls, Windsor, as we can see, it's cloudy there as well, which is not uncommon in that onshore northeast flow. 9 degrees at the hour in Badger. Now in Corner Brook, we are seeing more in the way of that sunshine, although some clouds are still there. But again, that's kind of the pattern. West Coast, Southwest Coast, South Coast, drier and sunnier when we are in these patterns of onshore northeasterly winds. Corner Brook right now also reporting 10 degrees. A little breezy though. Winds gusting as high as 28. Now southern areas are seeing some sunny breaks, but in Trepassey we are seeing, for the most part, mostly cloudy skies right now. You can see some reasonably high waves as we look out there in the ocean. We'll talk about what those are from coming up in a little while on the NTV Evening News Hour. But your forecast for tonight across eastern, northeastern Newfoundland. Lows of 3 to 8, coolest on the Burin Peninsula. Maybe some frost on parts of the Burin Peninsula with overnight lows that chilly. Keep that in mind if you have some plants that are still growing and sensitive to the cold weather. But shower chances certainly there. Otherwise, skies are predominantly cloudy, winds as high as 30 from the northeast. Those winds slack off tomorrow. I think we see some more sunshine tomorrow in the afternoon compared to the morning and compared to today for areas of the northern Avalon Peninsula, Bonavista Peninsula, and northeast coast. The further south you go to more, the more sunshine you should see. And you can see that by the temperatures warming up there to the middle teens. Western half of Newfoundland tonight, lows of 3 to 8. Coolest on the south and southwest coast. Some pockets of frost, certainly a good possibility. And then for your day tomorrow, looking at 10 to 14, 15 for the afternoon highs, with a good chance of showers, especially in the first half of the day for the northern peninsula and parts of central. West coast, southwest coast should see a fair bit of sunshine. In the Big Land right now, we are looking at a gorgeous day. Look at the blue skies over Cartwright, Lancelot, lots of sunshine. Goose Bay, beautiful evening. Wallbush, clouds increasing. And the rain showers are going to move into Lab West overnight as well. We can see some rain right now working its way to the western side of New Brunswick. That is kind of a telltale sign of our incoming weather. However, the rain on the island will hold off until Wednesday in Lab West. That arrives overnight and will work to the east as we go throughout the day on Wednesday. But right now, looking at sunshine across the bulk of the Big Land, even a little bit of fog, not frost, fog, trying to work inland from the coast. 8 degrees right now in Cartwright, looking at 10 Churchill Falls, and 8 in Labrador City. Overnight into Labrador, Churchill Falls falls to 0. 4 degrees in Lab City with some rain showers, a few showers on the coast as well. And then for your day tomorrow, a little bit cool, but some sunny breaks for most of Labrador. But again, some light rain working its way into the west. And that rain becomes more apparent across much of the province as we go through Wednesday. So the overnight showers arrive in Lab West. Beyond that, pretty quiet across most of Newfoundland and Labrador. Same thing as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Pretty quiet, minus the showers in Lab West. Tomorrow night, as we go into early Wednesday, look at that. some wet snow showing up there in the eastern part of Quebec and potentially the higher elevations of extreme western Labrador. And throughout the day Wednesday, we see more of that wet snow persisting, but showers and some rain begin to work across the island, and that will become a widespread rain event that we're going to be talking about from Wednesday into Thursday, and any rainfall that we're talking about right now is certainly much needed. And as we take a look at your 5-day forecast, we can see the temperatures in Lab West really falling off a cliff to a point. As we go into Thursday, Thursday is high only 6 degrees with some rain and wet snow in the forecast. Potentially some areas might see that before Thursday. We'll talk about your forecast in more detail, plus Hurricane Milton, which today rapidly intensified to a Category 5, one of the strongest storms we've seen so far this season, potentially in a few years in the Atlantic Ocean. We'll talk about where Milton is headed. We'll also talk about the 5-day forecast for Newfoundland and Labrador as well in more detail. Tony Marie, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Eddie. And it is time for a break on NTV.
Well, the weekend was nice.
Well, at least half of it was nice. Wasn't it beautiful? Saturday, I think it was like 19 degrees. It's 9 right now. Big difference. Hi, Eddie.
Huge difference, yes. What we're seeing right now, Tony and Mike, is basically what we saw for all of last week. Yeah, up until Saturday, and then it was back to this kind of yesterday. And it'll be like this for a few more days, and we may get a little bump in temps by the middle part of the week. If you're living near a coastal area, you've certainly noticed that the waves have been quite large for the last couple of days. And I've got this picture sent to me earlier today by Clifford Doran, taken down in Trepassey. For those of you who have followed some of Mary Kate O'Neill's stories about that area, there's a breakwater in Trepassey. And sometimes when the seas are up, that certainly can take a beating, and today was certainly a day where that seemed to be happening. And there were also some large swells over the weekend as well. I captured this video at Middle Cove Beach, and that was Saturday. As Tony Marie alluded to, the weather was absolutely gorgeous. But the swells were quite large, and those weren't even some of the biggest waves that I did see kind of breaking there on the left side of the beach if you're looking out towards, if you're looking straight out. I would say those waves were probably 3-4 meters. Very, very large swell certainly was there. And the waves that we're seeing are due to two kind of features that are to our south. We've got one area of low pressure almost due south of Cape Race, and a second well to its east. And that is what's left of Hurricane Kirk. That's now post-tropical cyclone Kirk. And as we take a look at the waves around these two areas of low pressure, you can certainly see they're quite large, especially northwest of this low here, waves of 6 to 8 meters. And look at the waves around Kirk, potentially 10 meters or more. Now, around the shores of eastern and northeastern Newfoundland, we're not looking at waves that large, but we are seeing some swells generally of 2 to 4 meters higher at times. The good news is that it does look like these two features are going to begin to work their way away, which should lower the swell heights over the next couple of days and hopefully allow crews to fix that breakwater down in Trepassey. So certainly some good news there, but as we do know, we are getting into the time of year where we will begin to see more and more of these strong lows working through and more kind of high wave and high wind events. Now, speaking of high wave and high wind events, this is Hurricane Milton. Monstrous hurricane, potentially one of the strongest on record in the Atlantic Ocean in the history of the Atlantic Ocean, with wind speeds closing in on the record, and the pressure drop today in this thing has been absolutely remarkable. It was a Category 2 earlier today, now Category 5. Winds gusting 305 kilometers per hour, barometric pressure down to 911 millibars. For you weather geeks, you know that's a very, very, very low number. Very powerful hurricane moving east at 14 kilometers per hour. We're looking at here is the northern part of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. And over the next 4 to 5 days, the track of Milton is going to take it to where? The west coast of Florida, a place that does not need another hurricane, let alone a potential major hurricane. Now, there is some good news with respect to this, as it does look like the upper air pattern is not going to remain as conducive for a powerful storm as it is right now once we get into later tomorrow and Wednesday, as there is some weakening forecast in the storm as it does approach the west coast of Florida. It looks like late Wednesday afternoon, potentially as a Category 3 storm, with winds at that point sustained still at 204 kilometers per hour. And the forecast track takes it anywhere inside this cone here over the Florida peninsula. So if you have friends and family around Tampa Bay, down toward Fort Myers, certainly tell them to heed all the warnings, heed those evacuation orders, because this is going to be a very, very serious situation. Areas that see storm surge along the Florida coast, potentially over 10 feet. If you're in the Orlando area or you know someone there, not going to be as severe with the winds, but power outages and flooding rain certainly a possibility. This will not impact the weather in Newfoundland and Labrador, but it is notable because it is one of the strongest hurricanes on record, potentially ever, certainly in my lifetime. Looking at temperatures, or excuse me, the weather right now across Newfoundland and Labrador, things are very quiet on the island. Look at the beautiful conditions there in Deer Lake. In Labrador, we're also looking very, very nice right now, but that is going to change a little bit. Big Land overnight, looking at some showers in the east, some rain showers working their way to the west on the island overnight. Scattered showers central and northeast. Overnight lows in central could be 2-3 degrees, so some patchy frost, certainly a possibility there. And same thing on the Burin Peninsula. For the day tomorrow, we should see more sunshine than today, especially for northeastern, eastern Newfoundland, south and west. A little bit warmer, a little more sunshine compared to today as well. Up until Labrador, we get some rain showers west, a few showers along the coast, up to 12 in and around Happy Valley Goose Bay. So overall, not a bad day in the Big Land. But as we take a look at the satellite and radar picture, some rain trying to work its way in. This will become a forecast staple in Lab West tomorrow and across other areas of the province as we go into Wednesday. Beyond that, potentially some snow in parts of the Big Land. We'll talk about that in my 5-day forecast shortly on the NTV Evening News Hour. Tony and Mike, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eddie.
And I know I did a deep dive on Milton just a little while ago, but the latest stats from the National Hurricane Center just came in, and the wind speeds have gone up now, 287 kilometers per hour, gusting 351. This is not far from being one of the strongest hurricanes ever recorded in the Atlantic Ocean. And you can see there the eye is extremely, extremely symmetrical. This is a beast of a storm, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow on the NTV Evening News Hour. Now, thankfully, it is forecast to weaken as it does approach the state of Florida. Again, it looks like Wednesday, but at that point, it's still going to be a very large and very dangerous hurricane. Certainly has been a decent stretch of weather over the last couple of days for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. And check out this photo. I believe this was taken today, potentially in St. Shads. John Penny snapped that photo. John, thank you very much for snapping that beautiful picture, beautiful shot there from a beautiful spot. If you've got weather photos like that, ntv.ca is the best place to share them with me. And you can also get your latest news and weather there as well. So we take a look at the current jet stream pattern across the eastern side of North America and across our neck of the woods. Generally, we are under a bit of a ridge, but there is a bit of a trough off to our west and a deep one at that. And that trough is going to dig or strengthen to a point as it approaches Labrador, Newfoundland, and Atlantic Canada over the next couple of days. And oftentimes these big dips in the jet stream can feature some cold air. Cold enough, in fact, that parts of Labrador may see their first snowfall of the fall season. I would say the year, but that would certainly be inaccurate. Of the fall season. Looks like later in the week. How much are we talking about? Well, for the lower elevations around the Trans-Labrador Highway, coating later in the week certainly possible. Looks like Thursday, potentially into Friday. But the higher terrain inland from the coast could be significant snow, potentially over 30 centimeters later this week. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But it's certainly that time of year. And we can see in Labrador, temperatures do fall a little bit. Now you'll notice by Thursday, 6 degrees, not different from Tuesday or Wednesday a whole lot. But the upper air pattern is a little bit colder. So we have the rain showers and snow flurries in the forecast, even for the lower elevations of the Big Land to come Thursday. On the island, we're looking a little bit warmer for the latter part of the week, but with that will come more in the way of showers and breezy conditions. And the west coast will likely see some onshore showers later this week, potentially some high elevation crapple by the weekend. Haven't had to say that word in a little while. Satellite and radar picture showing the two main features driving our weather to a point across the region. We've got an area of low pressure to our south, and that is what's left of post-tropical cyclone Kirk now working its way across the Atlantic. Going to be a pretty big storm for Europe over the next few days as it does arrive there as a strong extra tropical cyclone. But these two features are moving away. What's moving in is a little bit of rain working its way through parts of New Brunswick right now into Quebec, just edging into the western part of Nova Scotia. And that rain kind of is on and west of this yellow line that I have drawn here, maybe even a little further west than that. But that rain will slowly kind of trickle in to Labrador West overnight and really not arriving until tomorrow morning. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, the rain becomes more established in Lab West. On the island, we're looking pretty quiet for our day on Tuesday. Now, throughout the night tomorrow night, and as we go through Wednesday, some cold air begins to move in. You can see some of the snow there showing up in eastern Quebec. In some areas of eastern Labrador eastern Quebec, and western Labrador, we'll see a little bit of wet snow by Wednesday, potentially becoming a little bit more widespread later Wednesday and Thursday. On the island by Wednesday, rain moves into central and western areas during the afternoon, and that will work to the east, arriving on the Avalon early Thursday morning. So Thursday right now kind of pinpointing as a bit of a wet start on the Avalon. Off to the west, we're looking more rainy Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. Eastern areas overnight, a few showers, otherwise lows of 3 to 8, some patchy frost where we get the clear skies and kind of locally sheltered conditions. For the day tomorrow, highs of 11 to 13 or 14, morning showers and clouds. We should see a little more sunshine by afternoon for almost all areas compared to today and tomorrow morning. Western half of the island, overnight lows of 3 to 5. Some patchy frost is possible for your day tomorrow, highs in the lower teens. Labrador overnight, the showers in the west and a few sprinkles on the coast. Same thing for the day tomorrow, but rain in the west, also breezier with winds gusting as high as 50 out of the east. Eastern Newfoundland's 5-day forecast, looking at the morning rain Thursday, otherwise on and off showers all the way through Saturday, although they kind of change in the way they'll be oriented during the second half of the week. I'm getting into meteorological semantics here. Central Newfoundland looking at some late day rain on Wednesday, a few showers Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Western Newfoundland, same thing, late day rain Wednesday, numerous showers Thursday and Friday, and a few showers on your Saturday. And for Labrador in the west, looking at the rain and snow on Thursday. Beyond that, we're drying out Friday, Saturday in the east, on and off rain and showers through Saturday. And one more peek of the forecast for tonight will show temperatures in parts of Labrador falling to the old goose egg. On the island, a few scattered showers for central eastern areas. Some locations may see some patchy frost overnight, so certainly keep that in mind. For your day tomorrow, more sun than today for most of the island, particularly in the afternoon, but that risk of showers is still there. A little bit of rainfall in Labrador West for tomorrow, followed by some cooler temperatures in the Big Land for Wednesday, maybe some wet snow at times on Thursday. On the island, rain arrives late Wednesday, central and west, and becomes a little bit more widespread Wednesday night, ending Thursday morning. And then beyond that, we're looking at a few showers Friday and Saturday, particularly on and near the west coast. Your full forecast and your latest news and weather, always available on ntv.ca. Tony and Mike, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Eddie, and thanks to you for joining us tonight.